The for Verity gone viral? Yeah, well, that is what we'll be looking at here. Sit back and in this video we'll see brief synopsis of Verity, as well as my question about this Minecraft horror film and why Verity is rather strange Minecraft horror than right one. Therefore, before we begin main sections, as always I will mention TikTok, Telegram and Discord, which is still in development. Subscribe and there's the content news and of course interaction with the audience. By the way, I forgot to mention that if you wanna add me in Steam, well, the welcome link in the description. Let's continue. So episode 1, let us go in. Our player does a great unboxing of the smiley, mentions that a friend sent this mod pack to him. Oh, sorry, it's a version, and of course, he knows nothing about it. He gets resources classical survival in the world. He learns that Verity can make mob sound. It's unclear why the meme insert were made, but well, we will skip this part, and after that the player asks about diamonds, and the smiley face gives him the coordinates for the one. Then he even find a village for him, then the blogger builds in a house, craft armor, tells to Verity, and then goes to village to loot and trade for villagers, but there are no villagers here. He builds a tower, Verity goes crazy, the blogger digs a pit of lava for safety, something will arrive in 3 days, he builds a fence, he adds a flashlight mod in the second day, he barricades Verity, then goes to the tower, setting up the small base. When it finally arrived, the blogger ran out into the street, started the mutant, and then ran into the tower, naively thinking that the tower would protect him, but no, the creature got there too. End of episode 1. Okay, so the first episode certainly has a horror feel, as though the mods could have been done in the style of Nikita Berg. Berg is centrally saving a smaller audience, but, well, we will speak a bit inside. Verity could have more development in the same way, more Minecraftish style. It's this total soap opera on the second series. Long story short, a hybrid of Skibop and Mr. Bean stumbles into the tower, he runs to Verity, apologizes, monster disappears, hunger too, a montage of movements with smiley face about how he can do and knows everything, the blogger trips over lava and then drops Verity into lava, followed by drama the style best Hollywood films. Then he invites a friend to the Minecraft server to get rid of the ball. The ball rolls towards them and for some certainly reasons they communication in Minecraft. Yeah, also the protagonist is convinced he's been bugged. His friend tries to find a way to nail the ball, but then nail him. Yeah, surprise. The protagonist is mortified, like his friend was killed in real life, blah blah blah. Then he goes to the village, then to the bunker and look of potential options to the nailing ball. Okay, last third Syria. Verity scared the player, he'll apologize, after which the players repair everything he had messed up and ask him about his home, and he says he is far from the darkest reaches of the internet where you should not go. Then we were shown the player's pistol training, which he explained to the player as just a shooting gallery. Then Verity decides he is my house for now. Yeah, he found the code words on the board, wrote Verity contacts the call center, wrote the Minecraft, yeah, surprise, and then they tell him he has only one exit, and he like, okay. Then he calls Grox while the player is driving Verity to the house. He sees a room with signs and nicknames. Then Verity comes back and says, let's go home. They go back to Verity home and then blah blah blah, golden ball immortal. The person just bolts out. Surprise, at the end. The fault could seem cool horror, but to be honest, after watching the VHS tapes, I just burst into loud. I remember Nikita Berg, Russian Minecraft horror blogger, his shaky direction, and even there everything was funny. But I believe it was actually quite funny, and I will give it a credit for this. I don't want to discuss the filming, which is good for itself, so I want to discuss the plot and the moments in filming, which are cute, strange for my opinion. So as a rule, let's start from the first episode. Here I would ask why player didn't suspect anything. anything strange at first. I thought we will have that aside. We want to play known mode sometimes, and that is normal. Another question, but the occasional meme interaction, but is accepted. In addition, that's it. So, the first episode looks good, for my opinion. It introduces the monster and the player. Essentially, it's a good start and meaningful for the story. It's clear the author only planned the first episode, and the ending clearly hints at this. I like the idea of the first episode. It was quite meaningful, creepy in places, and it showed the creatures being eternally hungry. Now, the second episode. Yeah, let's get us started! After MacLeod scream, the second episode started in completely drama ploy. He somehow escapes the tower, even thought he shouldn't have entered Verity's house to apologize, and the monster simply vanishes. Hunger simply vanishes. What? At least they could have made the most, like I say, more Minecraft authentic, no? However, this design is gimmick and strange. What I do understand it's how the person tripped in Minecraft, after which Verity and the character scream you want to kill me, and he says no you don't. In addition, why did the author ignore two rules? You have heard the first one about hunger, however the second one, how does he not react so calmly if nothing happens? Verity don't try to kill them, lol, what the fuck? I don't understand it honestly, and the character doesn't even seem nervous after this, after which they seemingly make peace and the blogger decides to invite his friends in Minecraft, and releasing the ball is not just a simple ball but also a trick. Ultimately, the friend calls his friend to try figure out how to eliminate the ball. They talk about it in Minecraft, also the protagonist suspects the ball is spying on them and listening it, but it does not bother him at all. Besides, remembers that the ball knows everything, which makes the messages in Minecraft more funny. Also, his friend is no less gifted, flying into the house, yelling that he found something, and then retreating back to avoid suspicion. That's smart, right, really. I will tell you opposite, and Verity agrees with me, after which he nails his friend. As far as it becomes clear, the friend identity is gone. The only question is how, after all, in the future that bot will say it was just voice assistant from the game, nothing more, but what kind of the assistants killing the humans, I don't know, maybe Skynet 2.0, I don't know. However, seriously, our main character then tries to call a friend, but it doesn't work, after which we are supposed to figure out that he has been dropped. Alternatively, maybe his account was just hacked, I don't know. Finally, the third final episode. However, the third episode is completely surreal. In the book, he finds full need to send Verity home, and the player asks Verity where his home is, after which he tells him everything. Then the bot shows the player the place from which he transported into this world, and of course the secret Minecraft laboratory. Two questions: where did the laboratory come from, and why did it just show him everything like this? Like trust? Yeah, really. After all, the player definitely wasn't trying to kill Verity a dozen times, so we are just taking his word for it. In additional reality, these are some crazy twists. Then the player finds the customer service number in the laboratory, and they'll tell him go out from Minecraft again. 5-star advice. Kurt Cobain liked it. I like it too, and I checked it out. Yeah, it's work. Then how I can say something completely incomprehensible begin. I understand that the creature somehow got here, however not through the laboratory. Maybe that could have played around with the mod being infected with a virus. Alternatively, maybe this was some kind of error in the program code and ball started acting strange, but building a lab to transfer it into Minecraft, what is nonsense. And plus it's a version, not even a mod. Let's skip the part, just to be clear, during the rewatch, yes, I note again it's a version, not a mod. Then he invites the player into this world, rocks high, to go to the lab and see what's in the room. He did not mention that room in the end of tunnel, which is 100% meaningless, yeah. Therefore, when he breaks in, he sees things have players' names on them. Verity broke in, then the next day he tries to put emoji in this machine, blah blah blah. Then heard about how everyone humiliates the bot and deletes everything, and the player is deleted himself. The end. What can I say about Verity? about this horror world. It had a great potential at the start. His vision of helping with the dark side of the forum was an unstable hunger. In addition, it worked for the first time. At first, this creature was unusual and even attracted many people. The second part started to ruin everything, and it contradicted the first and essentially existed simply to further hype the smiley face, as the starving monster became a mere carbon copy of a psychotic teenager. Ultimately, this third part completely buried the original idea. What they are left with this horror film or horror Minecraft movie that promised a lot, but due to the hype, it simply devolved into a self-contradictory mess.